My guidance counselor handed me a brochure on communication skills. After I told her I was being beaten by Bryce and his friends every day, when I begged her to let me talk to the principal, my own dad, she smirked and said, "You people always think your meltdowns count as emergencies." I just smiled at her. That was 4 months ago. Yesterday I stopped hanging out with the bulliest in my junior high class, so their ringleader who they glazed constantly, Bryce, demanded his pet monkeys to gang up on me. Everyone in basically the whole world knew I had autism, but when his little goons found out that I was on the spectrum, it was like something awoken in their brains that made them go feral. Whenever I walked past them, Bryce Scallywag and his friends made flapping motions. Then it became hiding my noise-canceling Sony headphones in trash cans under everyone's lunch garbage. By January, they were shoving me into lockers and filming my meltdowns to post on the school meme page run by students. The first time it happened, I tried going to the guidance counselor. When I walked in, Mrs. Saratoga barely looked up from her computer. "Can I talk to Principal Williams about Bryce and his friends?" I was then interrupted by her looking up at me with this condescending smile. "I know exactly what you people do. Always thinking that normal teenage interactions count as bullying. Always looking for attention." I swear I thought she was pranking me, but then she handed me a brochure for communication skills and went back to filing her nails. I smiled because I had an ace up my sleeve. Principal Williams was my dad, but her dismissal made me realize something. If the guidance counselor wouldn't believe me without proof, maybe my dad wouldn't either. He was always so careful about showing favoritism at school. That's when I hatched my plan. I started crying more visibly when they pushed me. I ate lunch alone in predictable spots where they could corner me. I accidentally walked down empty hallways when I knew they'd be there. I documented everything in a password-protected folder on my phone. Screenshots of the meme page, blurry recordings when I could manage it. Bryce got bolder. He went from shoving to actual punches. His sister Kayla would hold my arms while he'd practice his boxing moves on my stomach. His best friend Connor liked to dump my backpack in the toilet. They thought I was too scared and weak to tell anyone, but after a few weeks, I finally had enough evidence to tell my dad. That night, I felt like a kid waiting for Christmas morning because I knew my dad would destroy them. I woke up before my alarm and strolled downstairs with a confidence I'd never felt before. My dad was already there, making pancakes with smiley faces like he used to when I was little. I sat down with a huge smile. "Hey kiddo," he exclaimed. "I have something that I've been keeping from you," he said, flipping a pancake. "I'm in the process of retiring and it should kick into place soon. They're making the announcement at school today." My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. He continued, practically bouncing with excitement. "With the retirement package, we can finally afford that Disney cruise you've always wanted. 7 whole days, just our family." I forced myself to smile and squeal about the cruise while my stomach dropped. Without dad as principal, I had no nuclear option. My evidence meant nothing if he couldn't do anything about it. At school that day, I sat in the bathroom trying not to panic. Then I overheard Bryce and his friend talking by the sinks. "My mom's totally going to win the school board election. Her whole platform is about stopping bullying. She even got that news station to interview her." That's when it clicked. Mrs. Scallywag, Bryce's mom, was running for PTA president on an anti-bullying platform. The irony was so perfect I almost laughed. The election was in 3 days. I spent those days being extra pathetic, extra vulnerable. On election day, I waited by the gym after school, knowing they always went there to VP. When Bryce saw me alone, his eyes lit up. "Look who's asking for it," he said, cracking his knuckles. Connor and 2 other guys formed a circle around me. I didn't fight back. Not when Bryce's fist connected with my eye. Not when Connor kicked my ribs. Not when they took turns seeing who could leave the biggest bruise. Instead, curled up and took it with a chaotic excitement pumping through my veins. They left me there when they got bored. I waited 10 minutes before limping towards the auditorium. My face was swelling. My ribs screamed with each breath.